My role is to provide those recommendations to the business owner or CEO. So I'm not going to tell you exactly what you should and shouldn't do with your business. Obviously, it's your business and you can make that decision. But what I can do is give you, here's the 2 or 3 options that you have, and here's the risk and here's the return. And then it's up to you it's up to you to be able to make that decision, and it's an informed decision rather than just a gut feel, or I'm not really sure, so I won't make any decision, because indecision is a decision as
Oh
well.
my God.
So
Yes, I learned that the hard way. I keep learning that.
yeah, so yeah, a virtual CFO can kind of scale it down for you into the 2 or 3 things that might make sense for your business.
I love it. This is awesome. So then how did you actually get into this?
Yeah, so I've had a career as a finance professional for nearly 20 years. I've just worked my way up through mainly in corporates and in the consumer and retail space majority of the time. So I've had quite a broad career across different finance roles, from financial controller to planning, analysis, all kinds of things, commercial finance, strategic projects. And worked my way up into a CFO role. And my last role before starting this business, I was CFO of a private business.
Oh,
Um, and what I really like about finance is it people might think you're just the number cruncher in the background, but actually, to be a good finance professional, you need to build relationships. You need to be able to communicate and tell the story from the numbers. And finance, whether you like it or not, is the language of business. And we're all here to make money. And even I've worked with not-for-profits, and even though they're not looking to make a profit, they need to make sure they've got funding so that they can have a bigger impact in whatever cause that they're representing. So it always comes back to needing to understand your financials. And if you understand the financials, you've got data to make a decision. So it takes the emotion out of it, and you can make a decision that makes sense. So that's what I really like about being in finance and that partnering type role. And so as I was going through my career, I always thought about, maybe starting something of my own. And I started talking to business owners who were, exactly talking about these problems we've just been saying about managing their cash flow, or not being able to make financial decisions, or just not having the time to really dedicate to financial planning or understanding their financial position. So it felt like there was a real need out there, and particularly in that sort of small to mid-tier business. So yes, you're a large business, often you'll hire a full-time CFO who's managing all of this for you. But for a smaller business, it can be hard to access that level of expertise. You don't necessarily want to have a full-time CFO. Either you can't afford it, it's not really necessary, and you just want some advice on some key things in your business. So this way it allows those smaller businesses to access that level of expertise much earlier in their growth journey. So I felt like there was a real need out there. I've always had a bit of a creative mind, and again, sounds weird as an accountant to be creative, and I'm not creative when it comes to accounting. Just to be
Damn
clear,
it.
high level of integrity, don't worry. But I've done things like started blogs and been on
Oh,
podcasts, and I've had a whole range of different hobbies on the side, and I've done volunteering, and I just always like to have something else on the go, and creating new things and working with different people. And so this was a way to really bring everything together, right? So I can use my creativity in building the business, but also being able to utilize my expertise for business owners. So yeah, a few months ago, decided to make the jump. This isn't really something that you can build on the side, to be able to dedicate the time to the businesses and really learn about them, their financials, and provide the right level of support and value. I had to kind of make the decision to either go all in, or put it to the side. And I'm just the kind of person that doesn't want to sit back and in 10 years' time and think, what if, and have all the regrets. So I decided to give it a go. And yeah, I've had quite a bit of interest in the business, which is great.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's exciting, right? Because you're right. The way you described, having all of those outside interests, being super creative, being a bit of a go-getter, wanting to do all the things all the time. That's like tick, tick, tick for starting your own
Yeah.
business. What do you think's been the biggest challenge that maybe you didn't foresee when you started the business or when you thought about taking the leap?
Yeah. So everyone told me when starting your own business, you have to wear all the hats in the business. And I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've worked with all these different functions in the past. I'll be fine. I'll work it out. But I think until you get into it, there's
Mm,
actually a lot more to some of these roles than you think. And as a startup, I had to really focus in on sales and marketing, right? Because without clients and without revenue coming in, I'm not going to have much of a business for long. So that was a real skill set that I had to learn. And I think while I thought I knew the basics of how to go about it, and I had asked for advice beforehand and talked to colleagues and that kind of thing, um, my learning was that you had to be really quite strategic. And it's important for me that I'm really authentic in what I do and how I come across. And you can sometimes get this icky feeling about sales of like, oh, you have to put on this really used car salesman kind of approach, but you really don't.
mm.
I mean, your course, Danielle, really helped me with some of that
Oh,
thinking as well.
awesome.
But yeah, my learning and talking to others who are sales professionals is it has to be strategic and you can do it in your own way.
Mm.
And I am a more introverted personality. I'm not, an extrovert. I'm not naturally a great small talker and schmoozer, but you don't have to be, is what I found. As long as I can be strategic about it and I'm coming across authentically and I'm really selling a service that can help people. It's not selling something that I don't believe in. I actually really believe in this and I really believe that I can make a difference in these with these business owners. So that's helped. But yeah, been a big learning in how to go about the sales and marketing side of it.